Hello Toy Collector fans, Universal Toy Collector here and welcome to the channel. Join me today as I go through my top 10 Star Wars lightsaber duels. Okie dokie then, so my list is made up of duels from across the movies and the TV series, both animated and live action. I also have an honourable mention, which I will be showing you guys first. For me, I'm looking for the wow factor of the duel, the overall story behind the duel, and the cinematography behind the duel as well. So the overall look of the duel. So they're the three main factors that I'm going to be looking for, and the reasons why they're in my top 10. Also, a lightsaber duel is hand-to-hand combat. So anything lightsaber against lightsaber, lightsaber against dark saber, or lightsaber against electro staff will be included within my top 10. There will be no lightsabers against blasters. Anyhow, let's crack on with my honorable mention. And this is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Asajj Ventress versus Maul and Savage Opress. And this was taken from the Clone Wars Season 4, Episode 22, Revenge. Now, originally, this was in my top 10. But before I started filming, I wanted to double check to make sure that I was happy with the duels that I've chosen. Then I remembered a duel that I thought, okay, right, this really does need to go in my top 10. So this is now my honorable mention. And yeah, overall, this was just a good, fun duel, really enjoyable to watch. You've got Obi-Wan Kenobi and Asajj Ventress, who have been at each other's throats for pretty much most of the series. They team up, rather, should I say, to take on Maul and Savage Opress. Yeah, just a good, fun duel. And I think in the overall grand scheme of things, the storyline wasn't as important as some of the other duels that have made it into my top 10. But visually, it was pretty good. What they've done with animation is pretty cool. So that is my honorable mention. All right, let's crack on and get to my top 10, starting with number 10. This is Kylo Ren and Rey versus the Praetorian Guards from Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Now, we all know The Last Jedi was an absolute car crash of a Star Wars movie, the worst Star Wars movie going. But saying that, there were some good points. There was some good cinematography, which I thought was really cool. And I did like the overall look of this duel here. The setting was pretty awesome in Snoke's throne room. You've got the red drapes across the back there. You've got the black floor. You've got the Praetorian Guards in red. Red is a favorite color of mine. And I just thought overall the look of it was pretty pleasing to the eye. So that is why it is in my top 10 at number 10. Storyline, however, wasn't too impressed with it. Once the duel is over, you've got Rey and Kylo thinking that they're going to swap sides, both of them, and join forces, whether it's going to be on for Kylo's reasons or for Rey's reasons. And then they end up like snapping that lightsaber in half, don't they? So, yeah, I mean, for looks wise only, I've gone for Kylo Ren and Rey versus the Praetorian Guards in at number 10. Let's crack on to number 9. This is Pre Vizsla versus Maul, the Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 15, Shades of Reason. Now, this was quite a pivotal moment in for Mandalore, really, because you've got Pre Vizsla. He was the head of Death Watch, and he wanted to rule Mandalore for himself. Then you had Darth Maul come in, and obviously he wanted to rule Mandalore for his reasons. And they ended up having this duel. So it's lightsaber against dark saber. And to be fair, Pre Vizsla did put up a pretty good fight. But in all honesty, I think the writers sort of like dragged this out just to add to the drama and suspense of the duel. Because if Maul wanted to, he could have taken out Pre Vizsla just like that, using the force choking him, all that sort of stuff. But he chose to go hand-to-hand combat, which I thought was pretty cool. In the end, it ends up with Pre Vizsla being slain. He was beheaded by Darth Maul. And that was pretty much the end of Death Watch. And so Darth Maul becomes ruler of Mandalore. And I just like the writing behind it. I think there was a lot of build up to this this particular scene, and the writing was awesome. The setting was great, and yeah, it was just an overall decent duel, definitely, and that's why it's at number 9. Moving on then to number 8, we have Maul versus Ahsoka Tano, and this again was the Clone Wars from season 7, episode 10, The Phantom Apprentice. Now, I thought this was brilliant. The way they've done this, they actually used Ray Park and they put him with sensors, and they took all those movements from those sensors and put it into animated form. And I just loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The storytelling behind it was absolutely cool. The look of it, the feel of it was just absolutely brilliant. So you've got Darth Maul sensing what's about to happen with regards to Darth Sidious and Order 66. He knows that the time of the Jedi is almost up. He senses that Anakin Skywalker has a pivotal part to play in this. And so he wants Ahsoka to join him to take out Darth Sidious. Now, Ahsoka was so very, very close to joining Darth Maul in this episode. And she said, okay, I will join you, but tell me, what is it so significant about Anakin Skywalker? So Maul then goes on to say that he plays a key part in all of this. He feels that Darth Sidious is grooming Anakin Skywalker to be his new apprentice, because Dooku got pushed aside and Maul got pushed aside. And Ahsoka's having none of it. She's like, well, no, I know Anakin. He would never do that sort of thing. And that's why they end up having a duel. And I just think the way they've done it is just absolutely brilliant. The setting is awesome in that big main hall of Mandalore. Then you've got, like I say, the actual fight itself, which I think is really cool how they've done it. They've taken proper body images from Ray Park and put it into animated form. So yeah, an absolute awesome duel. And that is my number 8. Moving on then to number 7, we have Darth Maul, or Maul, should I say, and Savage Opress versus Darth Sidious. Again, this is the Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 16, The Lawless. So this is following on from Episode 15, Shades of Reason. Again, just an absolutely awesome duel. I love the story behind this. You don't really get to see Darth Sidious use his lightsabers that much. When we did see him in Revenge of the Sith, I just didn't think it was a great duel with Mace Windu, because they're both fairly elderly gentlemen, and it would have been difficult to get them to do all these fancy fighting moves and stuff like that. But in the animated form, absolutely fantastic, and the story behind this as well, absolutely brilliant. So the lead up to this duel is Darth Maul goading Obi-Wan. He's got him as prisoner. He's basically murdered Duchess Satine in front of Obi-Wan, hoping that Obi-Wan would then duel him and stuff like that. And obviously Obi-Wan resisted. And then it pans away to the Senate building into Darth Sidious's or Chancellor Palpatine's Senate room. Got his eyes closed, using the Force. He knows what's going on. He can sense what's happening. So then he gets his shuttle, goes over to Mandalore, just makes a fantastic entrance. Darth Maul standing there talking to Savage Opress. I've not felt a presence like this since Master, and the look of surprise on his face. And, you know, he turns around Maul and says to Darth Sidious, "Oh, I've done all this for you," and stuff like that. And then Sidious says, "Well, why do I feel you're trying to what's it? What did he say? Trying to deceive me?" He goes, "I'll look upon you as rivals," and then that's when the fight starts. Absolutely brilliant. The story behind it is just quality, fantastic writing. So Sidious takes out Savage Opress, and you think, "Oh wow, okay, what's going to happen to Maul?" They start dueling, and then after a while, Sidious thinks, "Oh, I've had enough of this," and just takes Maul right out. And I thought he was going to kill Darth Maul. I really did. Or he's not Darth Maul anymore. He's just Maul. I thought he was going to like kill him, and then he turns around and says, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. I've got other uses for you." But overall, I just think it was an absolutely fantastic duel. Again, animated, and this is what I can't understand. The dueling in this and the lightsaber battles in the animated series is a lot better than some of the stuff we've seen in live action. Absolutely. Any case, that was number 7. So let me move on now to get that out of the way. Move on to number 6. We have Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Vader in Rebels Season 2, Episode 22, Twilight of the Apprentice Part 2. This, for me, was so emotional. It really was. This is the first time Ahsoka's come up against her former master, Anakin. He's now Darth Vader. And yeah, again, the writing behind it all, the story behind it, the emotion in the duel itself, I just thought was pretty cool. Especially when Ahsoka cracks open Darth Vader's helmet and you could see Anakin's face, or Darth Vader's face as Anakin. And yeah, so I just loved the way they've done this. Absolutely brilliant. And the emotion there when she stands there and she can see his face and she says Anakin, and he goes, "Oh no," I can't remember what he says, but he says something, and then they carry on dueling. And again, this was an episode where I thought, "Oh wow, they're gonna kill Ahsoka Tano," but they didn't do that. But yeah, just an emotionally charged fight there. I really did enjoy this duel for sure. Brilliant. And that is why it is number 6. So that was Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Vader from Rebels Season 2, Episode 22, Twilight of the Apprentice Part 2. All right, move on then. So we're heading into the top 5. Next up, then we have Ben Kenobi versus Darth Vader from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Now, this wasn't the greatest of Star Wars duels within Star Wars, but it was the first time we'd ever seen a lightsaber duel within Star Wars. Both Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are getting on a bit now, so they're not going to be able to do all their flashy moves, are they, and stuff like that. But for me, this is the first time they had met since events on Mustafar in Episode 3. You know, the last time we met, I was but the learner, now I'm the master. And then Ben comes back with, "You're only the master of evil, Darth." And they should have kept it that way. They had that duel between Ben and Vader in Obi-Wan. And yeah, it just devalues this fight for me, in my opinion. So, but yeah, I'm simply putting this in there because it was the first time we've ever seen a lightsaber duel. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So that is my number 5. Moving on to number 4. We have Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader / Anakin from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, this for me, along with John Williams' score, Battle of the Heroes, I just thought was an absolutely phenomenal fight. It really was. I mean, it was very well choreographed. But yeah, I mean, the story behind it as well, you've got Anakin just recently turned into Darth Vader, wants to get rid of Obi-Wan and stuff like that. I mean, I thought it was a great duel. It really was. Not only that, you had the duel with Yoda and Palpatine going on in between, switching from fight to fight, didn't you? So that was pretty cool. But yeah, so this is my number 4. Moving on then to my number 3. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn versus Darth Maul from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, for me, this was the first time I'd ever gone wow on a Star Wars lightsaber duel. The minute those big blaster doors opened up and he's standing there, Maul in his robes, and I think it was Qui-Gon said, "Oh, we'll handle this," and then he takes his robe off and he ignites that double-bladed lightsaber. That for me is the biggest wow moment in Star Wars. I think it was just incredible, and the fight as well is the first time we'd ever seen anything like this in a lightsaber duel from in Star Wars. And yeah, this for me made the film. I mean, it was all pretty slow paced and politics and stuff like that, wasn't it? But this duel was just absolutely incredible, and it still holds up now. What a great duel! I mean, Ray Park's just immense. I mean, we've been lucky enough to meet him. Such a nice guy. Always got time for you. Takes time out to chat, which is pretty awesome. But as a martial arts expert, he was just absolutely top notch. And I think Ewan McGregor did well, and Qui-Gon Jinn as well. So yeah, it's just a pity they killed off Darth Maul. Well, so we thought at the end of this. I think he would have been fantastic going forward into Episode 2 and possibly Episode 3 as well. But yeah, George had his reasons, and but yeah, so that is my number 2. And I've got to say, these top 3 were really difficult to choose between. But yeah, that is my number 3. That is Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Moving on then to number 2, we have Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Look at that setting. That is absolutely incredible. I'm loving the lighting. I'm loving just everything about this. Is just smacks Star Wars, and it's just absolutely incredible. It's the first time Luke confronts Vader. You know, Luke's had a little bit of training by Yoda, so he feels he's ready to take on Vader, but Vader's having none of it, and he's sort of like toying with Luke, I feel. And this is the moment where you get the greatest reveal in Star Wars ever. I am your father. I mean, wow, that was just insane. On top of an insane battle, the setting in Bespin, I just thought it was absolutely perfect. Like I say, I just love this duel, and like I say, it was really difficult for me to choose between the top 3. They're all very, very close. Any one of them could have been number 1, but yeah, look at that image, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, a great duel. And that was Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader from Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, which means I've got one left, and this is my number 1 pick. This is Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader from Star Wars Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. So the story and the build up to this and the writing was just incredible. Overall, as a duel, I wouldn't say it was the greatest, but I think you've got to look at where we're coming from here with the writing and the storytelling. So Luke's on the Death Star. He's gone to confront Vader again, but he doesn't want to fight him. You've got the Emperor there goading him, like trying to make him angry. In the end, Luke kind of snaps to a certain degree and he starts dueling. And Vader's wanted him to use his hate, and also as the Emperor wants him to use all his hate and anger and stuff like that. And then it comes to the point where, Vader says you're unwise to lower your defenses. He launches his lightsaber, takes the bridge down. Luke, comes crashing down, and then he goes into hiding. So Vader's walking around. And then it's like, how does Vader get Luke to fight him? And then he senses his sister. He's got a sister. And he says, "Oh, your feelings for your friends are your downfall. Especially for sister. So you have a twin sister. Obi-Wan was wise to keep her from me. His failure is now complete." And this is the line that set Luke off. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will. That is just insane writing. How cool is that? And that for me is probably, that line there is probably why this for me is my number 1 pick as a lightsaber duel. Just incredible storytelling. And Luke's like, no way, there's no way that I'm going to let Leia turn to the dark side. So he's fighting and stuff like that. The music kicks in and it's just so emotion filled. It's just incredible. And yeah, so Luke ends up taking Vader out, chops off his hand, and then the Emperor comes down and says, good, now you can take your father's place by my side. And it cuts to Vader's chopped off hand. And then you see Luke like that with his robotic hand doing that. And you just think, wow, how cool is that? Again, such awesome writing and storytelling. Just insane. And yeah, that is why that is my number 1 pick for my lightsaber duels. Anyhow, that is it for me. That is my top 10. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, letting me know your top 10 or at least your top 5, top 3. That would be cool. But other than that, yeah, it's this. Like I say, the top 3 for me is where it's at as far as lightsaber duels are concerned. It was a tough decision between places 1, 2, and 3, but I think Luke and Vader from Return of the Jedi is sealing it for me. And yeah, and it's that line, if you will not turn, then perhaps your sister will. And that's what swung it for me, because I've taken a lot of time thinking about this and stuff like that. And yeah, absolutely incredible fight scene. Anyhow, that's enough for me. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to let you know of more content. And as always, there will be more content. Appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate your support. It does mean a hell of a lot. Take care, stay safe, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.